Before you get mad, this is not a Cooper Flagg hate video or Cooper Flagg bust video. This is just an analysis of his skill set through his first 5 games and also a justification for why he scored 2 points. And so you ask, why did he score 2 points? It's important that we first take a look at this, what you're about to see right here, right? You see he had 22 points in this game against Toronto, right? Cooper Flagg just came from college, right? And in college, you don't play back-to-backs. In the NBA, he had his first back-to-back on the 26th and the 27th. And so not only was it just a back-to-back, he ended up playing Toronto, and then he played the best defense in the entire NBA in the Oklahoma City Thunder. That is why he ended up scoring 2 points. He played his first back-to-back, and then he played the best defense in the NBA. And so let's look at his skill set now from a complete basketball standpoint. First, we're going to take a look at his buckets and some of the plays that he made through those 2 games. So all I want you to notice are the habits, right? Pay attention. Just notice the habits. So you got Cooper Flagg over here, catch on the wing, drive, stop, spin to that right side, bump, pump fake, boom, little float over the right. Calm little bucket, right? Calm little bucket. Gets his pitch over here, flares out, pump fake, jab, boom, stops at the elbow, spin, stop, pump fake, lay right there with the right, bucket. You're starting to see it, right? You're starting to see it. Pay attention. Right? Continue to watch. He's facing pressure all the way at half court. This is what he's going to have to learn how to do, and we're going to talk about this later. How to deal with these type of defenders, right? How to deal with these type of defenders. But like I said, pay attention. He goes right, boom. He ends up stopping, snatch back, reset, boom, cross, behind the back, gets to this side, spin again, goes left and spins back to that right hand, lay right there at the rim. You're starting to see a pattern. You're starting to see a trend in the way as to which he's able to score. Boom, he fakes that, stop, spin. Over here, now he throws a lob to Derek Lively. Different type of play, but still makes a play, lob, and gets a bucket, right? And so now you got Emmanuel quickly over here. Now you got this ball screen with AD, right? Ball screen with AD. It's important to pay attention to the spacing of the floor. There's an empty corner, right? And so if somebody wants to help over on this role, it's going to have to be Agbaji, I believe that's how you say his name, who's going to have to come over here and help as AD makes that role. But that's going to have to be a flood. And if that's a flood, that means PJ Washington's going to be open in the corner, right? And so he's going to end up not coming over. And so all Cooper Flagg is going to have to read is Scotty Barnes. He's only going to have to read Scotty Barnes in this situation. So now what does Cooper Flagg do? Read Scotty Barnes. AD ends up getting behind him. You could see literally he gets behind his back, right? That's the read if you want to throw that lob on a drop coverage, right? So what ends up happening? He throws that lob, AD, boom, dunk, and mind you, he went to his right side. Continue to watch how he makes plays. Continue to watch. Right here, now in transition, comes down this right side, and guess what? Boom, Cooper Flagg body bag. But one thing you notice about all those plays is that he made them all going to his right side. That's how he's been able to get his buckets. That's how he's been able to make plays. And he's not really used to being in this position as a point guard, specifically. And so how does it look like for him now going to his left? Let's take a look. He ends up getting the screen right here by AD. Boom. He goes left. Hartenstein in this drop. This is where you have a lot of options, right? You have a lot of options you could play with here in this drop because you have so much space, right? You can get to the mid-range, you can get to your floater, you can get to a lot of things. So Cooper Flagg now gets into this paint, boom, stop, pivot, left hand, step through, misses on that one. That's a tough lefty shot, by the way. Very tough lefty shot. Very tough shot with that left, right? But nonetheless, tough shot with that left. So he ends up getting to that middle, stop, pump fake, step through with that left, misses that one there. You also could see how he's a little more rushed going to his left side. And so pay attention. Right here, catches the ball right in the paint. Right there in the paint. Boom, goes up, misses that. Easy layup over a player who's 6'5" and didn't even jump to contest. His composure is off when going with that left hand. You're going to notice as he continues to attack, right? Pay attention. Pump fake, now he attacks. Hang in the air, bump, switch to that left. Very strong off the glass. That's a tough finish. That's a tough finish for anybody. I ain't gonna lie. It's gonna be it's gonna have to be someone like Kyrie who's gonna have to bump, hang, and be able to finish through that against the big. That's a tough finish. I'll knock that. But nonetheless, still, left hand, less composure than usual, right? And so I just want you to pay attention and understand that when it comes to his game, one area he struggles with in a lot is being able to finish and make plays going to that left side. And so I'm looking forward to him as a player being able to develop both of that because you didn't see him in college play point guard. So you never really got to see that get exposed. But now since it's getting exposed, he now could actually see where he's lacking in and can get better. So while y'all see that this is hopeless, that he can't do something, I see hope and have faith that he's going to build his game, improve that left hand, improve that float, improve that step through, that lay, that dribble, that pass out that left. And now we're going to end up seeing a Cooper Flagg who's not just a wing player, but a Cooper Flagg who could play 1 through 4 and maybe even, who knows, 5 when it comes down to today's basketball. So that's one area that he's lacking in now, that he's deficient in, but there's still a lot of hope because he's still super young. And so now let's look at other parts of his game. Another thing I'm looking forward to seeing is that as Cooper Flagg begins to get older and develop, how he begins to deal with defenders like a Cason Wallace, who are maybe 5 inches shorter, but are going to try to get up into his body, get scrappy with him. And I really want to see him improve in this area of his game where he's not necessarily struggling when it comes to dealing with pressure against these type of players, where they're able to get up into his grill, poke the ball out, right, make it a little tough for him. Although he's able to get by, he's able to make some good plays, right? It's going to be on different occasions and different opportunities where he's going to have to learn how to exploit that rather than being able to be taken advantage of, right? So of course, OKC, like I said, one of the best defenses. Cason Wallace, a great defender, right? So you're not going to run into this every single night. You're not going to see that every night. But nonetheless, if he learns how to manage and deal with a player like Cason Wallace, who won't he not be able to score against when it comes down to defenders like him? That's the thing. That's why these games are so good, because it exposes the things that you need to be exposed so that you can know exactly what to work on. So now when he ends up getting these situations, he's playing great defense. He ends up getting called for a foul. But nonetheless, this is the area that I'm really looking forward to, where he's got a Cason Wallace on him, right? He's got somebody around 6'5", a few inches shorter, maybe the same weight. Cooper Flagg's not that heavy right now. He's like 6'9", 200. Yes, he's about 200 pounds, right, at 6'9". But mind you, he's super young. He's not even 19. He's going to put on weight as he gets older. So he's going to end up being probably like 225 at some point. So here in these situations, in these post-ups, if he gets these cross screens, these mid-post catch, whatever, these face-ups, this is where I'm really looking forward and what I want to see Cooper Flagg improve in as a player. At 6'9", these should be players that he shoots over the top of easy. And so this is where he could add another layer to his game, to where he's not just having a perimeter game and be able to take people off the dribble, but he's able to get into this mid-range, this area over here, around these elbows, right? Get into this mid-range, and then of course also be on the perimeter and be able to take people off the dribble at any given time. Now, aside from the things that he could improve in, the thing that he already has proven himself in is his ability to play off the ball and even be able to make the right passes and to make the right reads. And so specifically, when it comes to playing off the ball, you do not see a lot of players who are in situations like this where Cooper Flagg is on this wing, right? What a lot of people would do is just stand here and just hold spacing right here. But Cooper Flagg understands spacing. He understands actions and what's transpiring. And so when D'Lo he's gonna end up coming up here for a handoff, we're gonna end up seeing Cooper Flagg do what he's about to do right here, which is cut through. That cut made this entire play possible, because D'Lo is gonna be able to go right. And now that put a lot of pressure on the big and the help to go and play help, because now since Cooper Flagg made that cut with his defender, right? Notice what happens. His defender ends up following through, which opens up this entire lane for D'Lo just to cruise along, not having to worry about somebody standing in help right here. So he was able to understand action and change the spacing of the floor without anybody provoking him to do so. So that knowledge and that awareness is going to be key when it comes down not even just to his own game, but for the betterment of his teammates for the rest of his career. Not a lot of people catch that. I don't think a lot of y'all even catch that watching this as well, right? Even in a situation like this, watch this right here too. Coming down here in transition on this left side, right? Cooper Flagg looks back. He sees Klay Thompson. You see him signal his hands to Max Christie to tell him to cut through. He understands spacing. He understands actions. And he's going to begin to even do things that aren't even just for him. That's why a lot of people end up falling in the game, because they do everything for themselves. But Cooper Flagg already has this in his mind, in his game, to where he'll see someone like Klay and be like, hey, swing the ball up there. He points to AD. You can literally see his finger right here. Boom, points to AD, swing it over here. Because what is he going to do? He understands even as well that Oklahoma City switched everything. So in setting this screen right here, Cason Wallace is going to try and switch this, and Aaron Wiggins has already dropped back thinking he was going to go corner, and so he just ends up being in the way of Wallace, in the way of Wiggins, and Klay Thompson gets an open three. It's that awareness of spacing and being able to play off the ball that goes a long way when it comes to being a basketball player. And so, long story short, Cooper Flagg has a long way to go, a lot of areas to improve, but he's still so young. So this is not me saying Cooper Flagg is a bust or he's not good. It's been 5 games. We need to give him more time, and I'm excited to see how well he improves. So make sure you hit subscribe, turn on the notification bell for more breakdowns, live streams, and everything, so you could also improve your game and grow in knowledge as a hooper and as a fan. So discipline or regret, you choose.